Hi, my name is Lisa Lang. I'm a futurist and I bring technology and fashion together. My job is actually having a lot of different jobs because I have to balance a lot of tasks. I'm the founder of several companies. We are working with customers. I have to take care of my team. I also have to think a lot. So I'm spending a lot of time in front of mirrors and white walls and think about strategy. I also have to read and do research a lot. And I do listen to biochemists, to astronauts, to fashion designers. And then in the end, I'll just have to bring them all together. My clients do expect from me that I take them on a journey. I'm here to show you different worlds and explain you things you haven't heard about. And I'm telling stories. It's really nice to travel in history and we find the future there. We have to think about the future because we have to create it now. But everything starts with understanding and everything starts with listening and talking to different people. And I'm just like in the middle coordinating and building the bridges again. My company, I think it's like I'm the leader of the company, but my job is actually for the company to enable my team, to give my team confidence that they can run in their own way. Everybody is an individual person. So my job is to train them and give them enough freedom and responsibility. I decided never to see challenges as challenges, but only in opportunities. You know, it's like when you build something new, when you think differently, of course there are obstacles, but you know, the problem contains the solution. So I always see it as an opportunity to adjust, to improve, or maybe to find something out totally different. It can't be always right all the time because like how do we find different things then? This is innovation, crack an egg and make an omelette, right? So I have a lot of fun doing things differently. There is nothing like a failure, it's continuous improvement. So daily routines, interesting concept. When you do things differently, there are no routines in work because that's the amazing thing, every day is different. However, privately, I'll try to have a routine. You know, there's a healthy mind, it's in a healthy body. I'm trying to make exercise. I make sure that there are times in a day where I don't talk. It's really important that I listen or just be quiet. Because if you like in the long term, you really have to train. This is like a marathon. So, you know, what I find really interesting is like Olympic runner trains 99% of the time so they can run 10 seconds. So this is pretty much my mindset for a routine. It's like we are here for the long term, so we have to train the muscles because everything else is just happening. So we just have to adjust like this. So for me, this is not a job, this is a calling, and it found me. I saw opportunities, I saw that something is happening in fashion, things are changing and things have to be done. And that's how I just started. Because, you know, the best way how to move an entire mountain is that you start with the little stones. And this is what I just started to do. I move a stone every day. With my job or calling, there is no handbook, there was no training, because what I do is like I bring fashion, materials, textiles, technology, digital together. So this is the amazing thing. On one side, it's like there is no playbook. You have to write it your own. On the other side, of course, there is not a lot of things and people who can help you. So I just have to take something from here, something from there, and in my brain it connects. My job now, and also the calling, is actually like to teach that connection in your brain. And that is the future. So people after me will have it far, far more easier because I had to start from scratch. And people after me will have it easier. I hope I can take care of that. You need to make a lot of different experiences. I did an apprenticeship in photography before I went to study design, and then ended up in software engineering. I didn't plan this, it just kind of happened. I'm really proud of having grown up in a craftsman family. My dad is a bricklayer, my uncle is an electrician, the other one is a carpenter. My grandfather was a textile engineer. My grandfather was a weaver. So I grew up doing things with my hand and being very proud of that. I traveled a lot. I lived in different countries and different cities. Being able to adopt and finding your own identity over and over again. See, like when you're an entrepreneur, you need to have a lot of skills. It's kind of like you have to juggle a lot of balls up in the air all the time, and you never know who is throwing you another ball and in which color and from what direction. So you have to be prepared to adopt very quickly to new situations. And you are able to do that when you have done different things at the same time. So like always being able to adjust, right? Like I was a waitress when I was a poor student, and being in service and working for people under very, very high pressure, I think it's a really good training for your job life afterwards, right? Yeah, so it's okay when you do different things. You actually have to. You know, we are working interdisciplinary. There's not like one thing to do. You do 10 at the same time, minimum. Of course, not everything is like Guns N' Roses and confetti and unicorns all the time, right? So like, yes, of course, you know, things are difficult. Running your own label, running your own company, it puts you sometimes in really, really dark situation. Being, you know, a female founder, engineer in a very male-dominated environment, I have to remind myself sometimes this is a really, really hard job to do. And you can be lonely and you can be in a dark place really often. So, but as long as you understand that this is hard, and like sometimes pat yourself on the shoulder and going out with friends and having a drink and like, yeah, and like, let's come, like let's bitch about it. It's like, because this is really, really hard to do. But at the same time, I always want to see things positive. The fact that I'm working in a male-dominated environment actually gives me a huge opportunity. I see myself not as a female engineer or as a female entrepreneur. I'm an engineer, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a designer. So, you know, we are working with great people. So there's like no mindset for like gender, you know, and something like that, because we have to work differently together. And the way how you have to prepare for that is muscles. Nerves are like muscles. You can train them. So you have to go mentally in a gym, you have to go physically into a gym, because this is a very long journey and it takes a lot of energy off you. I never want to grow up. I think the great thing about always having like a playful mind is you know, you just always ask why. Why is this? Why is that? Why don't we do things differently? Everything is a game. Everything is fun. And also when things become difficult, you are actually, as a child, children are so resilient. You know, it's like something breaks and you just like build it up again. You know, you might cry a little bit, but then you get up again. Of course, there is a serious part to what we do, but sometimes I think, especially in fashion, the reason why we've lost the ability to innovate is because we got too much grown up. You know, let's be children again. Let's play. Let's break shit. I'm proud of a lot of things, what me and my team have achieved. They're highlights. I think for me personally, the fact that I'm able to do what I love and I can make a living out of it, and I have fantastic people and clients working, you know, together, and we're still alive, and this is just the beginning. That in overall, I'm really, really proud of. The Marlene Dietrich project was a milestone. It kind of felt like that Marlene herself was living with us in the studio for 3 months. We discovered her letters and were able to make her the dress she never had. And to be honest, the coolest thing about that was that a lot of haute couture designers in Europe tried to do that and they all couldn't. And I was the only one who was able to make it happen because it was electronics and embroidery and lots of pink flowers. And that was pretty cool. So for the generation coming after me, see all of the opportunities. I'm talking with a lot of students, and in the beginning they were like, everything has been done already. And we are now in a complete different age. Everything has to be done again. What's happening now is an absolutely turmoil in the fashion industry. Everything gets broken out and put together, different people coming in, different influences. See the opportunity. This is a great time to really be totally individually yourself. You don't have to fit into any kind of molds because there are no molds anymore, they're broken. You know, you are creating the next mold, right? Understand the freedom, but also the responsibility. This is the age of a different designer. We still need designers. We especially need designers. They're the most important thing and the most important job in the future. But it's a designer who understands technology better, who sees technology as a tool, because the designer is here to make technology obey. And you only can do that if you understand, different forms of technology. I'm not talking about that designers have to become engineers. This is about the mind. Like, understand the principle how machines work, right? Knitting machines work like computers. Biotechnology, like how materials get made or broken. How can you design new materials? The basics of blockchain, cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, that is not going away. Deal with it. But you, as a designer, you have to take power, but you have to listen and learn first. You have to understand the system, the other system. Go, travel, talk with other people, and then break the system. Be open to new things which will feel different. And just try. Try different stuff. Listen to different things. Do the opposite what you've been taught. I'll help you with that. We are in an age of a complete systematic change. That means everything has to be reassessed. Digital innovation is only one part of innovation. Don't forget material science. Don't forget people have to think differently. So the answer is everything has to be taught and touched and changed, but craftsmanship, you understand what people want, why do they want to dress? That is the most important thing. Digital is your tool. You have to see the entire picture. Being a part of a digital change in fashion, where everything is happening here, right and now, is the best job in the world.